When I talk about sustainable hustle, I refer to a balanced approach to productivity and goal setting. I mean prioritizing long-term well-being over the highs of a short-term win by sacrificing sleep and basically everything else but your goals. I'm a person that loves to work hard, but I don't want to burn out again. I'm still healing from my burnout, so I need to allow time for rest, for fun, creative endeavors. No more relentless grinding. I now focus on making consistent progress while really prioritizing my physical, mental, and emotional health. The goal? To reach my goals over time while no longer sacrificing the overall quality of my life. Now, I've always loved myself a productivity system, and I had already used the 12-week year previously before I burnt out, but now, after the burnout and still wanting to be productive, I'm combining the principles of the 12-week year with the principles of slow productivity. These two books combined really have changed my mindset on productivity. Whereas before, I always thought that productivity is all about speed, grinding, getting it done quickly. But now I think it's all about the journey of slow, sustainable success over a defined period of time. And right now, I'm planning my next 12 weeks, and I figured I'll share with you the mindset that I have when it comes to my productivity system. And if it's productive or not, it's kind of debatable, right? Because my focus is on making it sustainable. So not going as hard as possible, but going all in a way that you can keep up for a defined period of time. Now, the 12-week year starts with you defining your vision. And the reason why they say that you need to define your vision is that the vision is the first place where you engage your thinking about what is possible for you. And a compelling personal vision creates passion. Passion is what I'm all about right now. So think about something that you are passionate about, and you will always find a clear vision behind it. This process involves a lot of journaling. First, thinking about the overall vision for my life, and then narrowing the time frame down to like a 5-year vision, before then actually planning the 12 weeks based on the vision for my ideal week. You can also create a vision for a year from now or for 6 months. The time frame is completely up to you. It's kind of like a vision board, but then in words. I have a bit of an analytical brain, so I do vision my things out in different categories to keep things organized. Personal development, love and romance, friends and family, career, finance, and then hobbies and leisure. The 12-week year makes you focus on shorter time frames rather than planning an entire year. So you can set clear, achievable goals and make consistent, intentional progress without getting overwhelmed. And in the book Slow Productivity, Cal Newport emphasizes doing fewer things, but doing them better. The point is to avoid the unsustainable pace that I used to subscribe to that is typical for hustle culture, right? I don't want to do that anymore. That's why I call it sustainable hustle, because it's all about working on meaningful tasks in a manageable pace. So making sure that the goals that I have are sustainable over the 12 weeks that I'm planning. Now, in order to have goals that I can adhere to, I don't want to have too many goals. So I have a maximum of 3 goals that I want to achieve within the 12 weeks that are coming up. And those 3 goals are in 3 different categories. So one is about personal growth. I want to learn Japanese, so I'm working on that. The second one is about work, career, and that is for me making 2 YouTube videos a week. And then thirdly, it's all about my physical health, and I want to stick to my training schedule that I have for the half marathon that I'm running at the end of my 12 weeks. It actually coincides right with the last Sunday of this 12-week period that I'm planning. So on a weekly basis, I plan in my week so that I still I still kind of work hard, but in a mindful and more balanced way. And what that looks like for me is putting guardrails in place for when I have to stop working. So that means I have a set time in a day that I just stop working. For me, that's 6 p.m. There's a maximum of time that I want to spend on Japanese, which is 2 hours a day for me. The whole point for me is to have those guardrails, because if I don't have them, I will just keep going and not prioritize my sleep. And it is important for me to plan in things like my health and working on my physical condition and running, for example. It's something I really love doing, but it's also good for my physical health. If I do not plan those things in, I will just forgo those for the things that I deem more important. And at this time, for example, growing this YouTube channel is super important to me. But it's more important for my overall well-being to be good, right? And that's why I need to plan and put those guardrails in place to kind of protect myself from myself. As an example, last week I was supposed to not work on anything at all for the entire week. After I cleared out and tidied up my desk and then deep cleaned the bathroom, I found myself getting ready to work on this channel again. I had to purposely remind myself that what I really needed to do this week is to focus on rest and relaxation. Cal Newport suggests in Slow Productivity, varying the intensity at which you work to achieve a more natural pace of work. The general goal for this is to help you avoid working at a constant state of anxiety and high energy with little change throughout the entire year. That's just a recipe for burnout. So after my next 12 weeks, I'm again planning 2 weeks off to not explicitly work on any goals at all, which also coincides with the December holiday season, so that works out great. With all of this in mind, I time block 1 week at a time. So I evaluate my previous week, see how it went, and then plan the next week, time block the next week. And the important thing is that I prioritize rest. Now, the book 12-Week Year also states that rest is super important, saying, very often entrepreneurs and professionals get caught up in working longer and harder, but this approach kills your energy and enthusiasm. And it also says when we don't take time off work, we can lose our creative edge. And I just found my creativity again, so I definitely do not want to lose it again. Now, there are more concepts in this book that they say that's important. So time use, measurements, accountability. And I don't necessarily want to talk about all of that in this video because it would be way too long, but I definitely think that you should give this book a read, as well as Slow Productivity. I think both of them are definitely worth the read. Like I said, it really did change my mind on how to approach things instead of just working without boundaries and not thinking about my health. Now I'm actually putting boundaries in place and making sure that I stay healthy in my mind and healthy in my body. And it's just so important for you not to burn out, to also take yourself into account and not just the work that you're planning to do. Oh yeah, and the last thing that I wanted to mention about Slow Productivity is that Cal Newport not only takes into account people that work for themselves, like myself. I now gave myself 2 years to build up this YouTube channel, so I don't have a job anymore. But if you are working for a boss, then you can also implement the principles of slow productivity, and he makes a point of mentioning how. And I think that's really cool that he did that in this book. So it's not necessarily that slow productivity is this unattainable thing for people that work in a corporate setting. You can also implement the principles of slow productivity if you are working in a corporate setting. I think it's safe to say that I'm still at risk to burn out again, but I'm putting safeguards in place to keep myself from doing so. Slow productivity, sustainable hustle, it's changing my life. Embracing incremental progress and intentional living have truly been eye-opening in this season for me. It's about working on meaningful tasks at a manageable pace. We got this.